I'm not sure who has the worst schedule, me for uploading or Endgame Gear for releasing mice, but today I've got a review of the XM2 Wireless Essential. So guys, let's get into this. If you enjoy this video, then make sure you subscribe down below and join the Techify Discord. So I've not followed everything too well, but a few years ago I reviewed the XM1R and XM1 RGB, and I really liked the mice, and like a lot of people, was asking for a wireless version. They announced a wireless version eventually and pre-orders came out, but the time never came for them to release the mouse, and we're still waiting for it. But in the interim, they've released a XM2 Wireless Essential. There was something to do with them wanting to make the XM2 Wireless really good, have the microcontroller and sensor and things that they wanted, and they couldn't get them in time, so we've got this in the meantime. They've called this the Essential version, which I think undersells it a bit, because the only other mouse, to my knowledge, with the Essential name is the Death Adder Essential, and that really is a much more budget, not as good as the full Death Adder, whereas the XM2 Wireless Essential still packs some really great features, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's a budget mouse. For a wireless mouse of this caliber though, it's definitely not too expensive, it's about £80 or so. In the final version, there's supposedly going to be a better microcontroller, sensor, and the clicks are going to be a little bit different. I don't think personally, as quite a casual gamer, I'll notice that difference when that eventually comes around, but I'm interested to see, and hopefully I'll get to have a go with that. I would like to thank Endgame Gear for sending me this mouse, but obviously my priority is to give you the most honest review possible. To be fair, this mouse ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's got a PAW3370, which is a great sensor. You've got Kale optical switches, which I've not used before, and I don't think, as with a lot of optical switches, they feel quite as nice as mechanical switches, but they are very nice. They've got the weight down to 63 grams, which I think is really good. But the thing is, a couple years ago that would have been amazing. Nowadays, those specs don't really make this mouse special. You've got so many other mice on the market with those specs now, so why would you buy this one? What the XM1 always had going for it was the shape. I was a big fan of the shape. Admittedly, it is a little bit wide for me. It kind of forces me to put 3 fingers on the top instead of my normal 2, which I don't aim quite as well with, but still with this shape, I aim really well. I think it's something to do with the slope of it, and the position of the hump is just really nice for me to claw grip. I think this is a great mouse if you're a claw user, but due to its size, it is possible to palm it, and then if your hands are big enough, it is also perfectly good to fingertip. But it really shines if you like to claw grip your mouse. That low weight is a nice addition. The original XM1 wired version was around 70 grams, and a lot of the other mice that are competing with this, even things like the G Pro Wireless, are around that 60 gram mark, so I think this is a really good weight to be at if they want to stay competitive. Using it, I've had a really nice experience. The battery life has been pretty good, the clicks feel very nice, the feet, as with the original XM1, are really nice. I've really enjoyed using them. The sensor, the PAW3370, is a really nice sensor. You've got up to 19,500 DPI, which is plenty. The liftoff distance when you get it out the box is about 6 playing cards, which is a bit higher than I'd like, but you can easily change that in the software down to 1mm, which is about 3 playing cards, which for me is a really nice liftoff distance. But the fact you can so easily change that and so simply is quite nice to have. The software is something that Endgame Gear mice haven't always had, so it's really nice to be able to simply change things like your DPI and polling rate in the software. The scroll wheel and side buttons are nice to use. They feel very nice and snappy. The scroll wheel I don't use too much, but it does feel quite nice, and I think I do like it being a bit lower down and a bit less intrusive, especially for me putting 3 fingers on the top of this mouse due to the width. From my experience gaming with this mouse and using it, I'm not really sure I have any negatives as such, other than the fact that I don't think it's that special in the market anymore. I'm really interested to see when the full XM2 Wireless comes out, whether I can notice the difference. I feel as a casual gamer, I'm not going to be able to notice the difference, despite the better sensor, the better clicks, things like that, because for me, this is a really nice mouse to use anyway. It's probably logical to assume that when they release that mouse, they will drop the price of this, and I think that'll make it a lot more appealing. Like I said, at about £80, it is a great value for money mouse, and you do get a really top tier product, but at the same time, it's not special anymore. You can get things like the HyperX Pulsefire Haste Wireless, which granted isn't all there in specs compared to this, but it's still a great lightweight wireless mouse for a fraction of the price. I think if you've used the XM1 and you liked the shape, then having that shape in a wireless mouse is really nice to have, and I can definitely recommend it. If you're just looking for a wireless mouse in general, I think it is a great contender. Personally, I would choose it over the G Pro Wireless due to the shape being something that I prefer. Personally, I'd like to see a slightly smaller version, an XM2 Wireless Mini. I think that'd be really cool, but so far I'm not sure we're going to get that anytime soon, but they might surprise us. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It's free to do so. For your next video, you can go check out my original reviews of the XM1R and RGB. That'll give you some more information about the shape and things like that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.